So you want to buy a Piper Comanche. Comanche is a few things. First of all, they're pretty old. Came out in 1958. It's Piper's first all-metal airplane design. It's also their first low-wing design. Piper had been selling the all-metal low-wing Apache since 1954, but that was designed by Stinton Aircraft Company. Comanche was Piper's first design. Comanche is also unique looking for a Piper. It has this flat, squarish windshield and roof. And with that cowl, I always thought the Comanche looked a bit like Sam the Eagle. Most importantly, Comanche is a performer. If you happen to be in the market for a 4-play single and haven't stumbled across this furrow-browed bird yet, then it is my pleasure to introduce you. Comanche started with 180 horsepower, but sales didn't really take off until they upped it to 250. Later came a few 260 horsepower editions and a 400 horsepower fire-breathing behemoth. These numbers are for the 250 horsepower version, by far the most built model. It's more or less agreed that the Comanche really hit its stride with the later 260 horsepower edition for the horsepower, as well as all the small improvements that were implemented leading up to its creation. Sadly, the Piper factory in Pennsylvania was destroyed during a hurricane in 1972. The special Comanche toolings and molds went with it. Piper never did restart the Comanche line and instead doubled down on Cherokees. There are a lot of Cherokees. Comanche made its reputation this century for having a really great bang to buck ratio. Though these days, after several years of outrageous airplane prices, even the trusty Comanche is starting to creep up. But you'll still pay less than you would for the 182 that you'll be overtaking in the air. Okay, so fairly strong performance, fairly low price. What's the downside? Well, there is a downside. Not major, and could potentially be avoided altogether. Remember, this is the first all-metal and first low-wing plane that Piper ever designed, and it would seem that there's a learning curve. Comanche is said to be a bit overbuilt, which is good for G-tolerance, not great for maintenance. Comanche is known for having 50% more parts than a Cherokee. Further, there are a number of airworthiness directives for Comanches to correct some of these lessons learned. You'll want to make sure those are sorted. Aside from that, what you see is what you get. It's a 50 to 62-year-old Piper single with the Lycoming O540 and has the costs to match. It doesn't, however, have the performance to match, which is, as we said, better than you'd expect. Hey, you said I could avoid the downside. Yes, I did, and that's true, but not that easily. Well, the ADs are easy anyway. These planes are old, and most of them will have had all of the airworthiness directives sorted out, and likely won't be an issue for you if you're buying one now. The tough part is twofold. First, finding a Comanche that has been well loved and cared for the past half century or so. And second, find a mechanic that knows how to dance. Comanche is not just another Cherokee. It is different, and it requires a certain set of skills to maintain. People always say find a mechanic who's familiar with whatever plane you're talking about, and that is good advice, but it's great advice for a Comanche. The landing gear, for example, requires some finesse that only comes with experience. There's no tell-all maintaining Comanches for dummies. Sounds daunting to enter the Comanche world, and it is, but it could be very rewarding. A well-maintained Comanche with a consistent and capable maintenance program is a keeper airplane. If Comanche fits your mission and you find one of those gems, and they are out there, this just may be your forever plane. That is Piper Comanche. Thanks for watching. See you in the next.